Happy Wednesday. I am back again. I'm going to take my socks off because we are going to do a little few standing postures. Today, before we begin, I want you to make sure that you have set your intentions. If you have got your notebook out and popped how you're feeling from 0 to 5 today. Are you feeling any better than you have done the previous days? Are you feeling worse? Just check in with how you're feeling. Then come to a standing position. Bring in those feet hip distance apart, pressing the feet into the mat and make sure your toes are facing forward. Gently tuck your tailbone towards the floor. So most of us stand either one of two ways, or butt sticking out, or two front under. So just a gentle tuck, and then move these ribs, so your low ribs away from the pelvis, your mid ribs away from your low ribs, upper ribs away from the mid ribs, and relax the shoulders away from the ears. We're standing nice and strong. We pull this belly button into the spine and the ribs come together. So we're nice and strong in the core. We're being deliberate in how we're standing rather than how we normally stand. So when we're there, I want you to bring both hands to your heart, and then I want you to close down the eyes. Feel the shoulders roll away from the ears, and think about your intention for today. Again, if you want to borrow my intention, mine is going to be to stay out of my head and to stay in my body, to be present rather than in my head, and all the things that I've got to do are constantly running through my head, and I get carried away with that rather than being actually present in what I'm doing. So my aim for today is going to be in my body and to be present. With that in mind, we're going to do a little grounding practice, very, very simple. Keep those eyes closed and hands on the heart. And then very slowly begin to rock backwards and forwards, just really gently. So back towards the heels and then forwards, so that we're on the balls of the feet. Just real simple movement, backwards and forwards. Now you really have to be in your body instead of your head right now so that you do not fall. Backwards and forwards, eyes closed, or if it feels too weird, you can open them. Notice how everything is always fluctuating, nothing stays the same. And then come to standing still. Gently blink open the eyes and lower the hands down. We're going to come into a few standing poses. So inhale, lift the hands towards the sky and grab onto your left wrist with your right hand. As we inhale, we lift those hands up, and then we set this left leg over the right so that we're in this crossed position. We inhale, lift the hands up, and then exhale, we take a bend over to the opposite side. So we're making space through the left-hand side of the body here. Begin to connect with your breath. You notice we've not done any or much at all breath work so far, but we are making sure that we are noticing the breath. We are taking deliberate action to deepen it, so by inhaling and exhaling through the nose, mouth, noticing our breath. And tomorrow we're going to do a little bit of breath work, specified breath work. So just noticing the breath today again as we inhale and exhale. And then inhale, we come back to center. We let go of the hands, bring them down, and step back so that both feet are hip distance apart. Other side. Inhale, lift the hands up, grab onto the right wrist with your left hand, and step that right foot over the left. As we inhale, lift the hands up towards the sky, so we're lengthening through the body first, and then as we exhale, bend over to the side, so that we lengthen through the right hand side of the body this time. So inhaling and exhaling either through the nose or mouth, whatever feels good for you. And then inhale, lift back up. Exhale, step those feet hip distance apart, release the arms, give yourself a little roll. And we're going to come into a standing cat-cow. You don't need to move, I'm just moving so that you can see my body. You could be standing, whatever feels good. Feet hip distance apart, gently bend the knees and bring the hands onto the thighs. So we hinge slightly from the hip so the hands can come onto the thighs. Now we're going to do a standing cat-cow. We didn't ask a traditional cat-cow on our hands and knees yesterday, so it's the same thing, we're just standing. So we can feel the spine move slightly differently from here. So inhale, press through the feet, lift and spread your toes if you can. Set your bum towards the back of the room, back of the mat, wherever you're stood. Press those hands into the thighs so you can begin to send the shoulders back, squeezing your shoulders together, and the chest and head reaches forward. So we inhale. Exhale to come into the opposite. So tuck the tailbone towards the floor, round through your back, shoulders come together, and tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale to come forwards. Press the hands into the thighs gently. Bum sends itself to the back of the room. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Chest reaches forwards. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone round through the spine. Tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale to come forwards. Really feel your spine move, butt to the back of the room. And then exhale. Notice the difference in how it feels when we curl in comparison to when we were reaching through our cat. Come back to neutral and press through the feet and lift back. Standing. Now, we are going to do a little standing balancing posture so that we can really get out of our heads and into our bodies. A balancing posture is great for that because, like we did at the beginning, moving, you have no choice but to be in your body so that you don't fall over. So bring the feet hip distance apart. We're going to press through that left foot, so the sole of the foot is going to press into the ground as you begin to set the right foot off of the ground. Bring the knee up to the hip, so bending the knee towards your hip. There's a straight line from knee to hip, toes flexed so that it's not just flapping about doing nothing. The hands can be on the hips, they can be in prayer, they can be up towards the sky, whatever feels good for you. A few breaths here, really press into that standing foot for balance. Pull the belly button into the spine, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And then from there, we're going to set that leg out. So the knee comes to the side of the body. We're opening through the hips, and then we take a tree. So the sole of the foot presses onto the opposite leg, so the standing leg. Your foot can be right up in tree, sole of the foot to the thigh, or it can be down the leg, whatever feels comfortable. Your toe can even be on the mat so that you have a little bit more balance. Hands can be whatever feels good for you. Taking a few breaths. All of my family are coming through the door right now. They'll all stand at this door and laugh at me, I'm sure. Taking a few breaths. Pressing through that standing foot for balance. And then rest that foot down. So we're just over 10 minutes, ladies, for this one. Opposite side, stand onto that right foot. So pressing through the sole of the foot. Begin to bring that left foot off. Bend in the knee so that it is level with your hip. Flex that foot. Press through the standing foot. Remember, hands either on hips, heart,